What is going on, YouTube? Yeah, Beaster back here again with another UPS Wallace video. So, this is the first time this has actually happened to me, so I'm just going to try to word it the best way that I can. And first of all, I want to thank everybody for joining me here this evening. Um, and thank you for checking out my videos. If you stop by and just give them a quick look, and basically I go into detail about UPS management and a lot of the the things that as a big company UPS has done. Um, and quite frankly, I'm very upset with the way that management has been treating the employees, me in general. I mean, probably a bunch of other people. So we're going to get right into the video here and talk about a few things that have been going my way this week. So I usually never take days off when I work. I work, unless I get sick or I'm not feeling well. So I was not feeling well on Sunday. And of course, after Sunday, it's Columbus Day. So the last time I took a day off of work was 5 months ago, and this afternoon I was approached by a UPS manager, or should I say UPS coordinator. I don't know why I was thinking of management, and one of my fellow stewards. And I was told that I got a notice of termination. So, I was always told that a warning letter comes before a termination letter. But here's the thing. Now, I've gotten termination letters, notice of interim, in the past. I probably have 20, 30 of these letters stocked away somewhere. But what I didn't know until today was the fact that when this coordinator is not even in my work area, approached me and gave me this letter of term about my attendance, just one day. I called in. It wasn't a no call, no show either. So we discussed it, and so this thing comes up, AI. And so he says, I'm sorry to inform you that you got a notice of term. And the weird part about UPS is, they don't want to hand it to me in person. They want to mail it to me, which is another thing I don't understand at all. You want to mail it to me, but you want to tell me that I got a notice of term, but you don't want to hand me the letter, or you don't want to hand me whatever it is that you have. You just want to say it and then mail it to me. I find that kind of odd. I really do. So anyway, this is going to be the 27th one I've had. It's unbelievable. I mean, the last one that I had, which was number 25, was because I was 5 minutes late, and I have to take a bus to my job, and there's traffic, and there's sometimes there's detours and all this other stuff. So anyways, so an AI generated termination letters. This sounds off. I mean, there's something wrong with this company. So the company is generating AI terminations. It's not even a person. So, I mean, if I'm hearing it correctly, it's a computer that's generating these termination letters. If I'm not mistaken, this is like a civil. This could wind up in court if it gets into the right hands. This is it's more along the lines of wrongful termination, but not, these things aren't accurate, these AI things, and they make mistakes. And this is the first thing that popped into my mind when receiving it. So I miss one day, I get a termination letter. Yeah, you could tell that this whole thing was set up by an AI bot or something, whatever of that nature. And it explains why they want to mail it to me rather than give it to me up front so they can blame their AI software if they get thrown in court. So I've looked up some of the rules and laws regarding this, and I haven't talked. I mean, today, from what I understand, 30 other people have been handed these termination letters today. So it wasn't just me. And this is, see, I always thought that they were targeting me, or they were retaliating to me because I filed grievances. Just last year alone, I got almost $27,000 in grievances. And they were mainly supervisors working. So I was under I was under the impression that maybe the company was trying to retaliate against me because I was just stacking up those grievances. But it turns out that 30 other individuals received the same type of letter. Well, I haven't received it yet. They're probably going to receive that in the mail. And the approach is quite concerning to me. So, we as Teamsters, we work very hard for UPS. We bust our backs, try to, make management understand that, we're doing our job, we're fulfilling our job, and it's almost as if they're not thankful for that. This whole AI approach just makes them look terrible, absolutely terrible. And I posted some videos not too long ago of some of the belts, how they were all jammed up, how they were all, um, dangerous situations that were never addressed. We're talking about some of the belts that are in the building, and it's an awful situation. When you talk about they're using disciplinary action to cut their workforce. Come on. It's uncalled for, and it's gotten to the point where UPS is really it's with this. They're on a whole other level with the way that they're handling things. It's absurd. So even then, I've been talking to some of my coworkers in the building, and I've been talking with them, and I've been saying, hey, how many days did you miss? Did they nail you for missing a day? Did they nail you for missing 2 days? What happened? And it's like it's happening to everybody. So the thing that I don't understand is, and this is actually really interesting, these notices of term are being done by AI. But what I've noticed is I have almost 20 hours of sick time. I called out sick, right? Like I'm supposed to do. And so it wasn't a no call or no show. I call out. And so today is what? Today is Wednesday. So this was almost like 4 days ago. Wednesday, and that's another thing. This whole thing is AI. Why would you wait like 3 or 4 days to come up to me and approach me with this stuff? So you can obviously tell it's if it's software generated, these warnings that they're sending out. There's a whole slew. It doesn't make UPS look good because it looks as if they're having their computers discipline people, and they're just putting in numbers and boom, you get disciplined. But I think they're on top of it because they don't want to wind up in court. I think somebody is making some mistakes, and I'm gonna run a full investigation on it, like I always do with everything that I do. I investigate it. So even like the 27 somewhat termination letters that I've gotten in the past are total bogus. And what I come to realize is, has this the whole time along been AI generated? And if it has, there's some kind of civil litigation that follows that. And after 20 or 25, or even like 5 or 10 of these letters, you're gonna start saying to yourself, where are these coming from? Are these scams? Are these something that's being created in an office somewhere? Should I really take these things seriously? And it's total bogus. It really is. And I stopped worrying about these letters. Um, when I got one for being 5 minutes late. You're supposed to give me a warning before you give me a termination. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up, and before I do a full head-on investigation, I'm going to talk with some of the stewards, and we're going to see where this is going. We'll talk with some of the co-workers in the building, and we'll see where we go with some of the reports of management actually filing these phony, I want to say they're phony, because in my book, someone who misses a day and they call out, they book off, that's the proper way to do it. You still have sick hours. There's no justification for a termination there. That's bogus. And so, there's a few ways to look at this. It's been given to 30 other people, so it's not a targeted thing. It's something that UPS is doing to all of its employees. But what they got to understand here is, this is a big time. If this is something that's generated by AI and there's more than 30 people who receive these termination notices, they're going to be dragged into court with this, and it's not going to look good for them. And when the union gets involved, it's usually all grieved anyway. But at the same time, once you get, past that point, it becomes a civil issue. So once I get this, supposedly they're going to send it to the mail, and they're going to send it to my house. So once I get this in the mail, I'm going to put it on YouTube, and I'm gonna blow them up. I'm gonna say, hey, look at, we've got all this, which is total nonsense. Missing one day of work, calling out, booking off, doing the proper steps necessary, and we're just gonna approach it, from there. And I've never really did after the first few notices of term, I didn't really do a thorough investigation on some of these. I just thought, hey, well, UPS is pulling my chain. But after today, I'm finding out that, it's not just me, it's 30 other individuals who got the same thing. And I could be wrong, could be just a non-retaliatory approach, and maybe it's something that doesn't mean what it does. So, another thing I wanted to point out here is that in the building today, from what I heard from one of my coworkers, was that there was a meeting being held, and I believe it maybe had to do with grievances. So this could very well be a retaliatory approach from UPS. They do this all the time, but they try to do it in ways that they're not gonna seem like that it's coming from them. So all I can say is we're gonna take this with a grain of salt from each day that we go on and investigate every angle, every corner, and will possibly get to the bottom of this. My guess is they won't get to the bottom of it. It's just going to keep on going the same way it's always been going. That's UPS for you. Anyways, thank you for stopping by and checking out this video. I'm gonna do a follow-up video within a couple of more days. As soon as I receive that notice of term in the mail, we're gonna put that on display on YouTube. We're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna talk about some other issues that have been happening in UPS facilities around the world. And just to clarify, UPS's approach, and again, this goes along the lines of basically them getting rid of the workers. They're aggressively bumping up their discipline, and it's just, I mean, a lot of people will say, well, don't do anything wrong and you won't get these letters, but it's impossible to not do anything wrong. You go to the, supervisor asks you for help from another part of the building. You go over there, and then you have the coordinator saying, what are you doing over here? You left your work area. I'm going to write you up. So this goes along the lines of communication as well. It's a big problem. And we're gonna figure this thing out and get to the bottom of